Awesome. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today we're here for the pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that a meeting of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, BCIC, will be held Monday, August 25th, 2025 at 5:31 p.m. in the eBridge Center for Business and Commercialization located in 1304 East Adams, Brownsville, Texas, 78520. The first item would be called to order. Once I say your name, please say here. Dr. Rose Gowan. Cesar Lopez. Murat Abu Salim. Sergio Martinez. Tracy Wickett. Michael Rodriguez. Mark Horowitz. Thank you. Now our second item is the signing of oath of office and statement of appointment for the following BCIC board member. Michael Rodriguez. Hopefully they can hear us loud and clear. Go ahead and read the oath of office, the way
Okay.
it's stated.
I, Michael Rodriguez, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties as a member of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation of the City of Brownsville, Cameron County of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Please sign. Next item is the statement of appointed officer.
I, Michael Rodriguez, do solemnly affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation thereof, so help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 3 is public comment. At the moment, we do not have a public comment, so we will move on to item 4, consent agenda items. All items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. If requested by a board member, any item may be taken off the consent agenda by chair for individual consideration. And the items we have is 4.1 through 4.4.
Are there any questions in regards to the consent items?
I have a question on the
Tap the microphone, please.
He's messing up with me. All right. I'm not joking. Okay, I had a question. I had a question on the work session, minutes. Just to clarify or to remind me, because I saw there, like, says Murad Salim requested a 200,000 increase on the big program allocation, and then in the same statement it says he also increased or requested increase for $1 million for the big program. Now, I do remember the $1 million, but I don't remember how that 200 fit into, because it doesn't line up with the budget that you are presenting. So I'm just trying to clarify that line in the minutes. And see if either I forgot, or is just a typo.
If we could just table that one, and that way we can review
Yeah,
and then bring it back.
thank you.
Okay, so do we need a motion to table?
Yes, right? We need a motion
A
to
motion,
table
yeah.
the 4.1B.
Yeah, the work session.
So you want to make that motion?
Yes, I'll move to table the minutes from August 8th, 2025 for workshop session.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
And then the rest for,
Opposed? Are you opposed? No, everybody's in favor.
okay.
Okay, so then we need a motion to
To-
approve the rest
Yes,
unless
ma'am.
someone wants to remove another item from the consent agenda.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, public hearing. Item 5, public hearing and consideration, discussion, and action for project number 25-0010, high demand occupation training grant training program in pipe fitter training with Workforce Solutions Cameron and Texas Southmost College in the amount not to exceed $150,000.00 to support workforce training and creation of primary jobs as authorized under sections 501.101 and 505.152 of the Texas Local Government Code.
All right. Okay, today's public hearing is for the High Demand Job Training Program, a collaboration with Workforce Solutions Cameron and Texas Southmost College. Just to remind the board that we did bring this in executive session back in May to discuss about the opportunity to collaborate with the two entities. And just to refresh your memory is the reason it was brought to us and not our sister organization, GBEC, was the reason GBEC already has a high demand grant from last year still out, and they haven't closed that project. And under Texas Workforce Commission's guidelines, only one EDC can have it open per year. And so that's why the opportunity was presented to BCIC. So this program leverages the Texas Workforce Commission, the high demand grant training to expand training in high demand occupations. So this one is focused on the pipe fitting, a critical trade for our regional and LNG projects. This project matters because we need more skilled training for our people here locally to help with our industry growth, as well as this project helps employed and disadvantaged residents access training for good paying jobs. TSC will cover the certified training for level 1 and level 2, along with the OSHA training, and the cohorts start in September and will end through February of 2027. The goal is to train 50 Brownsville residents with 85% job placement. So our commitment, I think I went back. Sorry about that. Our commitment is $150,000 for the scholarships, while Workforce Solutions is putting in $139,650 for equipment materials to TSC. And then TSC will do the program delivery of that. So another reason why we're doing this is, I'm going backwards, and sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to think here. Okay, the reason we're doing this also is pipe fitting has an employment growth rate of 22%, which is far above the national average. Local salary ranges will be from $40,000 to $75,000, depending on the experience. And so what we're requesting today is that we do the formal approval of our participation with TSC and Workforce Solutions Cameron, and we enter an MOU agreement, and we'll leverage $150,000 of our funds to go through Brownsville scholarships. Our line item currently in our budget, we have $250 for a grant match, so this takes up, we'll have $100,000 left. And there will be a separate TSC BCIC agreement, which we will present at the next board meeting. And I just remembered we did not enter the public hearing. Okay. Deborah, do we have to?
Public hearing?
Yeah. Sorry, any motion?
I'll make a motion
Okay.
to.
Tracy did, so that's our second? Okay.
All in favor?
Okay. So this is a public hearing, so if we have any comments from the public. And I also do have Richard here from TSC, if you have any questions in regards to TSC's participation.
So my understanding of this. Thank you. My understanding of this, the way this grant works is a match, right? 50-50, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Yes. So if the workforce solution is granting 139,000 plus, why TSC is offering more than 50%? Is that allowed, first, and second, how is that gonna work? Because usually it should be 50-50. Whatever you give, you match it with 50%.
That is correct. So what happened is that when they applied for the 150,000, I'm talking about the Workforce Solutions.
Yes, sir.
When they applied with Texas came back and said, we're about to end the fiscal year, and all we have is 147,000 that we could allocate to you. So we literally were at the very tail end, and it actually ends this week as far as the fiscal year for money available. So that's the reason why. They intended to go 150, but so we were, that's what happened.
So funds were only available for this amount. So I guess Murad's question though is, if it's a 50-50, why are we still being requested 150?
So it's uneven. That is correct. And the workforce can do less, and obviously you can do less as well, or you can do the same amount. So at the end of the day, that's the way it ended, but that is true.
So the intent of the 150,000 is fully the scholarship.
It's only for scholarship.
And
It's,
that you got
it's
for
gonna,
this, for the equipment and for the tools?
so the way it divides up, it's 9,000 for tuition. They're gonna do 3 students. And then they're gonna do 130,650 for equipment. And they have an admin fee. We don't have an admin fee. The state allows them to do an admin fee, and their admin fee is 7,350, which totals up to 197,000.
So, and I'm sorry, just to clarify. I mean,
Sure.
Let's say you have the 150,000. I'm assuming there is a formula of how much you're gonna offer as far as scholarship for a student, right?
It's going to be 3,000 per student.
3,000. So, God forbid you don't have enough number, or the number of students that you have planned for, any money that will not be used for the scholarship, is that gonna be returned back to BCIC, or is that gonna be remaining with the TSC?
Absolutely. Anything that's not spent down will be returned to the institution, yes. That's a given for,
Yeah. That will be in the agreement, as well as the KPIs that was discussed in the prior, which he has to do reporting for the Workforce Commission. So he'll do that same reporting to us.
And all the 150,000 is towards scholarships, not administration fee.
no ma'am, it's all scholarships.
Thank you. Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
questions?
Quick question. So I'm assuming most of these kids or gentlemen would kind of be working for Bechtel. I'm assuming they're the ones who are requiring. That's the need, right? Where it's coming from.
Correct.
That's my first question. My second was, how many more pipe fitters do you think they'll need in the near future?
So they've already asked me for 150. I can't produce 150. In fact, we're actually going to spend $300,000 in our lab just to upskill it, so that we put in, even though we're getting equipment, we need a bigger lab because the demand is very high. So Bechtel has given us $50,000 for tuition because they needed pipe fitters like right now.
Wow.
And I said, look, I can do it, but I need some help. I'm getting shored up by BCIC. They've given a letter of support, and so we're just trying to catch up. This is coming at us in waves, and it's actually coming a lot stronger than what we had talked about. And that's the way most industries work. They don't give you all the plan, and all of a sudden the plan's there, and it's like catch up to us. But we're going to do a good job to try to get as many people we can employed in that field. The demand is very high. They entering the summer, they projected they needed 800 pipe fitters. And so we said we can do 40 during the summer. It's a heavy lift. So we've decided that our lab isn't keeping up. So so we went to the board and we asked for more money. Board said, yep, go ahead and do it. Let's expand it. You're getting the equipment, so all that works out. So we're just trying to catch up. But yeah, right now they're 100% being employed.
Are
And
women
Thank
pipe
you.
fitters also, or just men?
A lot of women. Right now, if you would go visit it's wonderful to see, because we started out with one in each class. Now, if you go to our class, the one in the morning has 3 women, and the night has 1. So 4 women are in the class total, but we're getting more and more women that are coming, and we're encouraging that. Bechtel's encouraging that. Bechtel is literally, when they come to the office at the recruitment, they'll tell the women, look, we don't have current openings for you, but if you go to the pipe fitting, we'll hire you if you go through the course. So that's a nice connection for us, because Bechtel is actually sending us the candidates. Before we were looking for community candidates, now they're sending them to us. And so they're sending them for level 1, level 2. And so they've got skin in the game now. They're having difficulty bringing people from other locations to this site, which is a good problem for us to have. We're just trying to catch up.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Is each scholarship for both level 1 and level 2, or is that just level 1 and then we get some more for level 2?
So it's the same amount for 1 and 2?
Okay, yeah, because I saw that the hours were about 160 for level 1, then about 96.
So so level 2 is a very, we've got to add another instructor. And so it's a higher level of learning. And so there's more hands-on with diagram reading. We're trying to actually, so let me explain it this way. A level 1 just gets them to the job site and they show up and they say, okay, I know how to do measurements. I know how to do just the basic. Level 2, they show up and they're a candidate to be a leader because we upskill them in learnings, but they also are going to be on a fast track to a journeyman's. That immediately moves them up to $25, $26 an hour. So that just requires more effort on our part.
But what I mean is somebody that starts at level 1, does the $3,000 cover both courses?
No, it's just one. Level 1 will be $3,000. Level 2 will be $3,000.
Okay.
It's the cheapest rate that we can do. The student is required to at least put close to about $240 where they've got to buy their steel-toe boots. They have to put some skin in the game, but at the end of the day, it's divided up between the courses, and you have to go through level 1 to be able to go to level 2. The only reason we're doing level 2 is because Bechtel asked us to. They need more leaders on the job site, which is good for us as a community.
So how are you gonna accomplish the 50 students? If every student's gonna go through the 2 levels, you're gonna pay 3,000, then your ability to support 50 students will diminish to 25.
So most students will, right now we're having difficulty of people moving to level 2. Once they hit level 1, they're going to the job site. So we're just hoping that some of these folks will say, right now, let me put it this way. Right now, everyone that hits level 1 is going to the job site. They're realizing when they get there that if they want to promote faster, they have to come back and do the level 2. We weren't promoting level 2. Bechtel asked us to promote that and said, look, we need you to upskill. And we said, okay, you need to help us recruit for that class. We want to do just level 1 to get them to the job site. Initially, they're each going to make the same amount unless they quickly ramp up in their leadership in level 2. And so that's a good opportunity for them. But yeah, we're not advocating level 2. We're just advocating level 1, but we have it there also where we can scholarship those folks. And I mean, they're going to make more money, and it's good for our community to upskill those folks in pay.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? In that case, we need a motion.
Motion to close.
We need a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
All in favor? Aye. Now we need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item.
All right. Motion to open?
No,
Not
you're the
yet.
first to
Okay.
read it.
Item number 6, public hearing and consideration, discussion, and action for project number 25-0011, Old Alice Project, an economic development initiative with the City of Brownsville, Cameron County, and the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation for the acquisition of real property to be leased to Cameron Works, Inc., DBA Workforce Solutions Cameron, in the amount not to exceed $500,000.00 to promote or develop new or expanded businesses, enterprises, including but not limited to the creation or retention of primary jobs, as defined under section 501.002 and 501.101 of the Texas Local Government Code, or the enhancement of the quality of life and job training.
Motion to open public hearing.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All right. So this public hearing is to address BCIC's participation in the interlocal agreement for the Old Alice Workforce Center property purchase. I do have Alan Garr, Deputy City Manager, here too to address the board. But just to give you, we took this to the board a couple months back in regards to Workforce Solutions. Cameron cannot own their own property under the state law, so it required local partners to secure this facility, and the partners are ourselves, City, Cameron County, and GBEC. And so why this matters? The Workforce Center serves between 12,000 to 19,000 job seekers annually and supports 150 employers. It's critical to sustain the workforce development capacity in Brownsville. So each partner is contributing $500,000 towards the $2 million purchase. God bless you. And also, there is a seek of a $2 million from the U.S. Department of Commerce to cover the upgrades and technology that's needed at the job site. Long-term lease structure ensures that Workforce Solutions can remain sustainable. This will secure a permanent home for our Workforce Solutions, it expands the training facilities, and also strengthens our regional collaboration. Directly supports our mission under Chapter 501 of the Local Government Code. And so we're asking for the board to approve the BCIC's participation in this agreement in the amount of $500,000. And Alan, would you like to?
Sure.
Alan wants to.
Something with you first. So when I was touring parks with my parks board, we went by one.
Mike.
No, I don't want you all to. When I was touring Brownsville Parks with my parks board, we went by one park and y'all had contributed money to help update it, and it had a poster or something painted, and it was weathered. I'll say that in the nicest way possible. Didn't really see who the names were anymore, really couldn't tell. We visited the city of Richardson, and they said, this is how we commemorate our capital projects. And I said, we need to do that. So I wanted to share with you we're gonna put one of these by the bathroom that was just done at Gonzalez Park, but we have one for our CIP projects that are funded.
It's pretty.
They're heavy, trust me. But we have one that's gonna have BCIC funded. So every BCI funded project will have one of these adhered with heavy-duty epoxy, either into the cement on the ground or on a wall, wherever is prominent, so that your contribution to these projects will be more permanent than that. And I'm sorry I didn't have the names of everybody on it, but it will have the year and the fact that BCIC funded that project. So we thought this was a better way to recognize you, a more permanent, and it's heavy duty.
It is,
So,
yeah.
you know, it really is putting your name out there in steel or in brass, I guess. So I wanted to share that with you. We really appreciate BCIC's collaboration on this particular project. We've been talking to Mr. Vela, and there's a number of reasons why we want to do this. First of all, they provide a critical service to many sectors of our community, not just the unemployed, but they help veterans. They have child care there. There's a whole number of reasons why we want to support them. But also, they've been at that location for a long time. It serves by our bus routes. There's a number of really good reasons. It has lots of parking. There's a lot of good reasons why that location works well. For them to relocate would be expensive, time-consuming, a pain. It'd be hard, you know, their clients would all have to readjust. And so working with the county, BCIC, GBIC, and the city, we think the $500,000 is a great way to go. And then they have agreed to pay roughly $60,000 a year rent, or $6,000 a month rent, about $72,000. The city will be the owner-operator. We'll just take that money and stick it aside, and when they need a new HVAC, boom, we'll take care of it. When they need a new tile or replace a window or whatever, we'll have the funding available to take care of that. And so that's kind of the arrangement we're looking at. They're a great partner in this community. They're definitely needed, and so we hope you will move forward and approve being 1/4 of our partner in this adventure going forward. And I'm happy to do my best to answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
The Workforce Commission serves the entire county, is that right?
Correct.
So is it about half are from Brownsville?
Probably more than half, I would say. Some are in the county in the ETJ that would be part of Brownsville. So I guess the best answer to your question would be yes, half, but I think it's probably more than half at the end of the day.
Were there any other North County opportunities for contributors?
Not that I'm aware of. Not at this level either.
Any other questions? So this was previously approved, so this is just the second reading, am I right?
Yeah, this is just going through the formalities for the public hearing. So we just,
So we need a.
this is a public comment, so anyone's welcome to express a public comment?
This is from which part of the budget?
This is gonna come from out of our BCIC strategic, BCIC projects, which we have 1.6 million.
Okay.
Are there anyone here that has a comment or a question? Hearing none, we need a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing. Second. Thank you, Alan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we need a motion to approve again, since we approved it once.
Motion to approve, a motion to approve, the item on the agenda as requested.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan.
Item number 7, public hearing and consideration, discussion, and action for project number 25-0012, Sable Center Battlefield Trail Connection with Origo Works in the amount not to exceed $225,000.00 to enhance the quality of life in Brownsville as authorized under sections 501.103 and 505.152 of the Texas Local Government Code.
I would like to accuse myself from this item.
Thank you.
Do I just press play?
It's to go through the slide?
No, but I just press play to move?
Yeah, yes. Board, this is an out-of-cycle project that we're bringing before the board. The reason for that is Romero and I, we need a motion to move into public hearing.
That's right. How come we have to do that? In the city, we just know that that section is public comment.
It's always been the practice here, so technically is it not a public hearing if you don't have the motion? No one's going to.
It's a stylistic
Also,
issue.
Michael, we also tend to forget to put the mic on.
Okay, so.
And
as
the
our-
color change
As
doesn't
our
help
newest
me.
member, Michael,
So-
would you like to motion to enter into public comment?
Or public hearing, public hearing.
My bad. See, I even got that wrong.
I want a motion to enter into public hearing.
Do we have a second? All in favor? We are so entered.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, as I was saying, this is an out-of-cycle project that we're bringing forth the board. And the reason for that is Romero applied for a quality of life grant back when we had the open cycle. Unfortunately, his the project did not meet what was allowable cost for BCIC to pay for. So in talk with that, we're like, what else can we assist with? And we came up with, always wanting a trail connection to Sable Market. And so this is what this is about.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure you all have driven past El Globo. So now it will be rebranded as Sable Market Center. And so this is a collaboration between Origo Works and the Wolf family, who were the original developers of North Park Plaza. So, who we are, we've been in the community for 20 years. We're a design build firm. We're also an investment firm. And we do believe that through every project that we do, we always want to improve the community. Origo Works, before I was there, has worked in collaboration with the city multiple times, and actually, I would say specifically along trails. One was where our office is, basically Adventure X. There was a need for parking. and we basically Origo paid to relocate there was a lot of right-of-way there. So we entered into an agreement with the city to push the trail to one side, and maintain it in eternity. And we currently do that at right behind our building. Sable Market Center, it was originally in the it was built in the 1970s. A lot of people remember going to watch a movie there. It really was kind of the premier spot in Brownsville. And that's really what we want to, like everything, we want to bring it back, right? And we're currently doing the same thing at Palm Village, if you all are familiar. There are not a ton of developers that actually get into this work. Most of the time, as you see, you have abandoned retail. Retail shifts. Brownsville has shifted from Boca Chica to 802 to Morrison, and usually, sometimes, a lot of developers never come back. And so, this is what it is. This has kind of changed a little bit as far as the rendering. I have it right there. But this is really kind of the new look that we're going for, and it really. So as far as our investment in the project, it's $10 million. As Corey said, we applied, I think it was last year, to bury the utility lines. Some of these improvements are great to have, but they weren't necessarily in the original budget. So you start to kind of, okay, hey, how do we collaborate with different people? So the utility burial along the frontage, we think will aesthetically help the center. And now this is kind of just this other piece that is a great opportunity, which is to connect to the trail. And I'll kind of go into the story. So our investment is about $10 million. It'll create about 200 jobs. More importantly, it'll revitalize a center it's on the expressway. It's, it's bringing new life to Brownsville's front door. These are, they're obviously there's been a lot of vacancy in this center. We've had a lot of interest. We're probably, I would say at this point, we're probably about 75% full. Once we finish the project and once all the new tenants come online, we're at about 75%. So that'll create jobs and it'll kind of have this ripple effect in the community. We're also apart from what you see that's being remodeled, there's actually also going to be some pad sites. So there's going to be further commercial opportunity. That we're already talking to a couple of national brands to maybe potentially develop the pad sites along the expressway. And so let me just kind of fast forward to these are just some additional renderings. And this is basically what we want to accomplish. So we understand that we're very close to the trail, but yet we're very far, right? Because there is no connection to the trail to the center. So when the idea first started, really was, hey, let's build a trail connection, an 8-foot sidewalk or a 10-foot sidewalk, and let's connect the trail. Well, we started talking to the city. We approached Dodo, and actually we found out that this piece of right-of-way was originally supposed to be called South Price Road, and so. I provided Corey another exhibit that kind of zoomed out a little bit, but if you kind of zoom out of here, if you all know where Brownsville Sheet Metal is in Ziwa, kind of right behind the BISD building, that's basically what the only part of South Price Road. And so it was a street that was never built. I don't know why it was never built. But I know in talking to Dodo and talking to the engineering team, they see a lot of value in actually building this street, because as you all know, there is at some point throughout the day, the traffic backs up on Paredes and Price. It also backs up on the expressway, and there's really no way to kind of connect the two, right? We've all I know we've all kind of cut through where, before it was the pawn shop and it was the pancake house, right? You would always cut through, right? So there's kind of this natural thing that perhaps it should have been built, but it was never built. And so here we are, we're trying to right a wrong, basically. And so the idea here is we're here before you to just kind of talk about the sidewalk, right? And, you know, we feel that that's important. That's in BCIC's wheelhouse. We are talking to the city. And, you know, in the spirit of collaboration, the item before, we are talking to GBIC as well as far as cost sharing. And we will also participate with this. PUB if we get to build this street, PUB would also improve all the utilities there. So the utilities are clay, they're old, so they would come in and rebuild the utilities. And so that being said, you know, the sidewalk can work independent of the street. And that's why we decided to come before you. But we also do feel that a commitment will help push the street. So it's kind of working together to get those two projects done. And so it is our hope that you support this project, and I'm here to answer any questions.
I just wanted to bring to your attention, the reason we felt like this was a really good project to bring to the board was like Romero said, there was not a connection to the plaza to the hike and bike trail, the historic bike trail. And we wanted something safe. We wanted a connectivity to the retail plaza. Also to show as a example to other developers of this is how it can be done, of how you connect, you know, retail dining to, you know, a walking, biking trail.
I agree with you, Corey. I think it is a great example. I mean, if we think about the 10-year struggle to win the West Rail Trail, all of us that fought for it talked about that connection of the trail to a retail area that would be vibrant and like so many other communities across the country do. So why shouldn't we have the same amenity here? Yeah. The neat thing to me about this is not just the trail itself and the connection, but the fact that there would be a road there. So it really is a multimodal connection for the area that, I mean, I used to cut through the Pancake House all the time as well. And as I ride my bike on the Battlefield Trail, I sure would like to stop in and get a cup of coffee. I can't do that now because I would have to ride on Price Road to do that. And I'd like to not cut through the Pancake House.
Well, it's the pawn shop now, and they've eliminated the cut through.
I know. And I tried to cut through the pawn shop after they built it, and I thought, oh, busted. But I think it's a nice opportunity to do something that is truly multimodal and safe for all travelers, and that's where I like it. And I will go before GBIC and lobby for the funds for their share of a partnership in this endeavor.
Remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also will have bike infrastructure there, like bike racks.
Yeah, I mean, we've already actually, I hadn't seen, I don't know why these black lines are there. Anyways, we have built a sidewalk along the expressway where there wasn't one, right? That was required by city. We've already built it. It's already there. So, I mean, you know, that's just kind of, I just saw the black lines and I'm like, what are those?
So, I got some very specific questions, but like the line, that road right now doesn't exist, right? It's greenfield.
It's greenfield. Right? So currently there's about 60 feet of right of way there between the mini storage and our property, and it's city platted right of way, public right of way, and then the city owns the back part. So you see where the kind of like that detention pond is, kind of shaded out. They own that whole strip in the back. So there's no property acquisition here. The city would probably, on the city property, it's not dedicated as right of way, but it's already city property, so.
And you said PUB has utilities there?
PUB does have utilities there, much like they do in every other street or anything.
But I mean, there's no street there. But that's why I'm a little confused. It's a green field and there's utilities underneath
Well, sometimes PUB will use, if there's city right-of-way needed, if there's city right-of-way available, utilities will use the right-of-way, right? So in order, you know, at some point, I don't know why it was never built, but at some point, somebody needed utilities, so PUB decided to use the right-of-way.
Oh, it's not being used.
Huh?
So it's utilities not being used.
No, the utilities are being used.
I see, to serve the development.
Yeah.
Or in the past. Okay. I gotcha.
Currently and in the past, yeah.
Got it. And so they're gonna replace it.
They're gonna, I mean, PUB has this existing partnership with the city, where if the city builds or renews a road, they come and change out the infrastructure, especially in the old parts of town.
And it's, and the, what you're talking about is really, it's a sidewalk, right? I mean, it's the yellow and red is the sidewalk. The yellow is the sidewalk that's going to be added during construction, and the red is the proposed sidewalk that we would fund. Is that it?
You know, I don't, what does it say yellow up here?
It says new sidewalk will be added during construction, and the red is proposed added by track. So it was only, originally, I think our discussion was only the red was gonna go to that point.
Yeah.
And then when city said, well, we want an access road, that's where the yellow came about.
Yes.
And so it's.
In the end, it's building in 17, what is it? 700 to 600. It's about 1,500 linear feet of a 8-foot sidewalk
But, I mean,
along
the
the road.
money that, but if I understand correctly, the yellow part is what you guys are gonna build, and the red part is what the money that we fund that you would also build per our grant.
I don't want to answer. I honestly don't know why it's two different colors, Mark. But if there was some sort of match required, I mean, we want to do the whole project. We want to do the street as well, right? So we're going to participate with whatever we need to participate to do the entire project. And so yeah, the 225 is for the sidewalk, and we have it calculated for about 1,700 linear feet. 1,700 linear feet of 8-foot sidewalk would cost about $225,000.
You said 1,500.
Well, I mean, if you add,
I mean,
seven
I'm
plus 7 is 14.
road connection to
plus
Veterans
250.
Boulevard.
So you're talking about 1,650 linear feet.
Okay. So, and you said you've been talking to the city, but, I mean, we don't really have we don't have anything in paper that says it's okay for you to go beyond your development and connect to the trail. You know what I mean? Cause like it's city property, right? I mean, like, I don't wanna fund anything.
You don't have the city authorization to use the right of way yet, is what he's asking.
I mean, that's, I don't see the city being against it. I mean, you could potentially make a motion to say, hey, you need to get permission from the city to do this. I mean, that's fine,
Contingent upon.
you know?
Okay. So is it 8 feet of sidewalk or 10 feet? Cause you did say 10 feet earlier.
It says 8 feet.
Okay. And I guess the question I have though is, you know, cause it's a sidewalk, you know, if I'm a cyclist, I'm not gonna be riding on the sidewalk. I'd be riding in the road. I don't know if it makes sense to have like a bike lane.
Why do you call it a sidewalk? Am I on?
A Belden trail, I mean, it ranges from anywhere from 8 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
So Belden trails, I believe, 10.
So it's
I
really a
think in some
multi-use
places-
path is the correct, I
Yeah,
think, is the
exactly.
correct term.
Instead of saying sidewalk.
So you want to have
Yeah.
separation. We've always, I mean, as long as I've been around, we've always tried to, where we can build a multi-use path, we build a multi-use path. Where we can't, we go on the road. That's kind of been the city, you know, not official policy, but where we could afford it, where we could build it, we would do a multi-use path.
And as far as I know, whenever, I mean, you're building this road, is that right?
Yeah.
Or are you building the road, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, the conversations with the city are that we would take upon the responsibility of building it, and then we would get reimbursed.
And then Rose, you were saying that GBIC would participate?
Well, I
in-
don't know that, but I'm gonna ask,
Oh, okay,
We have requested an audience with GBIC.
to help build
To
the
help.
road.
because they can build roads.
Uh-huh.
And so that's my question to them is how about be a one-city partner?
Okay, and then, so, because you're building the road, I believe that the city's new updated ordinance does require a sidewalk, right? Is that right? At least 4 feet of sidewalk.
Well, we won't build
Right.
a road if the city doesn't participate.
You
Right.
won't build a road if.
I mean, the road has to be publicly dedicated. So if the city doesn't agree to build the road, then we can't go build a road on city property without their permission, much like you just said earlier. I would anticipate that no matter what, the city's gonna say, okay, if you wanna build if you wanna build a multi-use path, if you wanna connect to the trail, the city would be supportive independently of the road.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the way, it was hard for me to interpret this when I was reading it, but the way I interpreted it is that, developers required to build at least 4 feet of sidewalk. And what I see is actually that it's 8 feet of sidewalk, which I appreciate. I think that's great. Bigger the better, I suppose. And instead of us paying for one side of 4 feet of sidewalk, it's gonna be, like, you're doing the first half from frontage road to the middle, which is the yellow, and then we're gonna pay for the rest. And, instead of ending at your property line, you'll continue all the way to the trail, which, I mean, that's great. I don't want a sidewalk that ends, where your responsibilities end. But I guess, so
So you can't look at it, I think you can't look at it within the development regulations, because this is outside of the city's scope of regulations with regards to development. Because the Origo and the team here had not planned to build this road. It is not required by the city for me to build this road, right? Therefore, there's no requirement for me to build. Where there is a requirement, which, like I said earlier, where there is a requirement where we have improved the property all along from here, from where that road would start, along the entire expressway you can drive by today, the sidewalk is done, right? And that actually was required by the city. So you can't mix both in this case, because there is no road. And the proposal here is, let's partner as entities, and we'll consider Origo an entity, to, I would say, right a wrong that has been a wrong for 50 years because the street was never built, right? So there's no requirement for me to build a sidewalk on that side. Because there's no requirement.
There's no requirement now because you don't have a road.
There's no requirement because there's no road.
Right.
Right.
I get it.
So,
Okay. I guess the other thing, and maybe this is just, the question for the rest of the board, is that it feels, at first glance, this feels kind of strange in that we're moving, quality of life money to, a development. And, I could see maybe going beyond that, right? When you're going beyond the property line all the way to Battlefield Trail. But then it's like, this is like a contractor. We're contracting out something that, we'd like to do. I mean, how did the city build out the West Rail and the Southmost Trail? I mean, it wasn't like they put it out for bid, right? So, you see what I mean? It's like, the city didn't ask for developers along the West Rail or the Southmost Trail to, you know, the city didn't give them money and say, just build out that trail behind your
Well, not
development.
yet, but it could happen. I mean, hopefully when that land is developed on the West Rail, we will, or they will, or this organization would participate in that. Southmost Nature Trail was a TxDOT grant, so all procurement has to go by the TxDOT rules. There was no choice. Belden Trail was a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant, so all procurement had to follow those rules. In this case, it's up to the city because it's not within, as he already explained. But I do hope that if the land along West Rail Trail is developed, developers come and say, hey, how about you help us build these trails? I do
Well,
hope
the
that
trail
happens.
exists.
Pardon?
The trail exists, and the land adjacent to the trail is undeveloped. But the trail exists, and the trail was built by the city. So I guess what I'm saying is like,
It's not out of the ordinary. I mean, there's P3s. It depends just the way you want to look at this. But
Brownsville
I mean, the
P3.
way that I look at it is, you have a local investor investing $10 million in a center that would otherwise be vacant, and therefore, this is actually not. We're here because this is outside of our scope, right? Our scope is really within our property. Let's improve it. Let's maximize. Let's make this the center of Brownsville again, right? And so, you know, we're investing a lot of money. This is a little bit outside of the scope, and it is a public improvement, right? This isn't something we're going to keep. We're in the middle, but we're in the middle, and I mean, some people always say, hey, the private sector moves faster than the public sector. So it's not out of the ordinary for the city or any entity to go and partner and say, hey, we want to do this together. We want to contribute. You're gonna contribute. I mean, I don't. Yeah, and normally the city would go through the bid process, but the city's done P3s and provided incentives to other developers as well, in a very similar fashion.
I appreciate that. I think, like, you know, you guys going beyond the property line, I think that's great. I think, you know, it's just that the way I see this and the way I think maybe the public sees it, because it's a little complicated, is that it's a little messy. So I'm trying to like figure out a way how to frame this so that it is a little bit more tidy. Like you know, someone could easily point out, like, once you build the road, that you're obligated to build a sidewalk, but only 4 feet. And now you're building 8 feet instead, which is good. It's good. And you are chipping in. I just need clarity. Like, it seems like you guys are building your sidewalk, but it's up to the first half. It's just easier that way. It makes sense to me. You don't have two entities paying for half a sidewalk and then, you know, the other half, like, of a single piece. So I think, you know, if I had clarity, one would be like, I need to know, you guys are paying, there's 3 things. Are you paying for the yellow part? Do you actually have like permission from the city to do it? I mean, we can do that contingent. They have permission to link up. And then 3 would be, like, how do we make sure that we get what, you know, they're building out, right? Like, I don't know how to verify it. As a staff. I would probably have given this to Public Works, and maybe you can make an agreement with Public Works that says they inspect it, and, you know,
I mean, it's a reimbursable, so.
Right, and so I guess
it's
that's
in
what
the
I mean
ground.
is also is like, yeah, so it's 225, it's up to 225, and it's like you submit, you say, okay, we spent this much concrete, we had this much labor, right? Would it be like that?
Yeah, and we can, we can use that suggestion of, you know, using Public Works to verify the work that was being done and such.
Well, Public Works will say it's $450,000. so.
But
No, I'm telling you because, you know, I've talked to Carlos
I mean,
recently,
though,
and the city
isn't-
builds a sidewalk for $10 a square foot. The private sector builds it for $5.
okay, but the 225, correct me if I'm wrong, is from the hike and bike trail connection to the actual frontage road. So the
Yes,
red
I don't
and
know
the
what this-
yellow.
I don't, yeah, there is a point of clarity on this image, and I can certainly turn in a new image.
Yeah. It
But
should
to
be
answer
all
your-
red or all yellow. It's,
Yeah.
it's, our funding is going from the connection of the trailhead to the frontage road.
So if I can just chime in briefly and for the sake of time. So just one thing, we just to clear, we can move forward contingent to clarity from the city, right? Number one. And number two, this is just my opinion, for whoever cares, but I mean, if the intent is for public good and for public use, I mean, it's like, you know, let's just move forward. That's my opinion, right? So, and it seems like it is. I mean, we're here in a public meeting. Somebody wants to come back and watch the minutes, then they can see that the intent is good. If there's more parameter that the city needs to go through, well, then absolutely, they have a purchasing department. They can bid it out and do what they need to do. But I don't know. I'm ready to make a motion.
So contingent on city's involvement.
Absolutely.
First, we need to close public
Yeah.
comment
Yes.
unless there are further comments.
I just have a quick question. Is this the only public hearing we'll have for this?
Yes.
And this will obviously be, because it's reimbursable, it'll be next year, in next year's, but I don't know how that works. But
And also, we would not, we also have to get city commission approval. So we obviously would not get city commission approval until we have all the ducks in the row.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, I'll make a motion to, approve this contingent on city authorization to build in the public right-of-way from frontage road to the Battlefield Trail.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item.
President's update. Item 8, United Soccer League USL visit update.
Okay. I just wanted to provide a quick update about the USL. There was a delegation visit last week. 5 USL representatives came to Brownsville to visit the sports complex, as well as meet with city leaders, stakeholders, and such. And I just wanted to kind of give you an update in regards to, from my understanding, the city and USL have moved into a letter of intent. The letter of intent is to further explore the USL expansion into Brownsville. So that's really good for Brownsville because that means we're a serious candidate for the market. What I did talk to the mayor and I asked him, because we do have that Hudden study that came out, and I asked him, you know, our concerns about making sure that we're, you know, at the table when there's discussion, because from the USL delegation visit, it seemed like the undeveloped land was what they were very interested in. It was another, like a cherry onto the expansion, and wanted to make sure that, you know, with any discussion that BCIC is fully involved. And so the mayor and I talked about the best way to move forward so that we're all on the same page is have a meeting with the city manager, the mayor, some of our board members, and talk about, you know, our land, and talk about, you know, what's our next step, because what our next step in the Hudden was to do a developer solicitation. A developer solicitation, so we've gotten the study, so now the next step was to use Hudden to actually go out and solicit interest from the developers. The mayor and I were talking about is like, this could be a good thing. It could be a good thing about us moving forward still, continuing it, because then that might be competitive, that USL knows, hey, we're continuing, if you're interested, you know, this is your opportunity to, you know, put in their bid. But what I want to do is have a meeting with with our board and city leadership and talk about that, so we're all on the same page. I think that's very important. I think also is important is that we also talk with Hudden, and I was thinking even with Travis on that meeting, and talk about, you know, for our side, get our points, get our ducks in a row for our discussion and what we want to talk with the city about.
Did they say why they were interested in the undeveloped land?
A lot of times when they go into a market, what they like is opportunity to bring mixed use with the expansion, because it really helps with the team and with the exposure and getting people to come and visit and, you know, see the games and such. To have a well-rounded, you know, after the game, they can go dine, shop, play afterwards, or even before. So they like the idea of that land because they could actually do something with it.
But their idea may not, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Their idea may not be one of the three ideas that,
That's very correct. It could be something totally different.
Actually, it is.
I'm sorry?
Actually, there is similarity. That's what I was gonna jump into.
Oh, go ahead.
The two, they are looking to their anchor facility would be the stadium, right? And the training facility. And the rest would be the mixed use, right? Our studies called for an anchor facility, in their case, for the arena, right? The closed arena. And a mixed use. So if we look into the mixed use aspect of the two visions, they are similar. The only difference is like, what's the anchor facility would be? Is it the stadium or is it this? So if they are sincere and if they are actually interested and seem like they are, actually this is a boost to the plan, right? Because then now you have a more feasible anchor facility that actually will feed into the whole complex as far as sports and activities and so forth, bring a new type of you know, activities into the mix with the mixed use that our study have, you know, shown. So I don't see a conflict there. I think it's just a matter of us meaning BCIC, the city, and everybody involved, the stakeholders, kind of cater that and edit it and bring it to the point where it's clear that we all agree on that mixed use aspect. And then the anchor would be whoever, you know, materialize first, or whoever is more, you know, actually wanting to do it, right? And this case could be the United Soccer League.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I understand.
but the point is, like, we don't even, at that point, do we still wait on them to do the rest of the development, or do we take the lead and actually look for?
That's why I wanted
do it, right?
have us.
Because then we can carve out the area that they need for their facility. And
Yeah, that's what she's suggesting.
Yeah, so that way we're on the same page with the city, that moving forward, and then we can decide, do we wait until what they come out? Because what they're doing now on their side, USL, is going back and looking at the feasibility, the impact. And then they have to look to see how much it would cost for the stadium to be where they need it to be up for their requirements. And then owners, investors, and all that stuff. So they need to do their due diligence is what they're doing right now on their side. And I think for us is doing our due diligence on us being on the same page with the city, and then deciding how to move forward with that undeveloped. Do we wait, or do we just keep going?
And we have, the study did show the gap and how much investment need to be done for these, you know, housing and all of that. So again, you know, I guess it's a good idea to have the meeting and clarify that, and then see, because part of the study was for them to look into developers, right?
Yes.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we would build this area ourselves, pay for it?
No, ideally, we would want a developer to come and, we're soliciting developers to submit their bids, and they would develop it. And we just have the land as a leverage.
So, I mean, my 2 cents would be to wait for them to make a decision, because if they decide, they could come back and say, well, yeah, we still like it, but we want this configured differently or whatever. I would hate for us to move forward and then
Well, I think
have not the right thing that they want.
for us, it would be like, here's an open piece of land, and we have ideas of what we want, but you come back to us and you tell us where you would want those things and what additional things you would want to bring in.
And we need to know that before we solicit to developers, no?
We do have it in our HUD in the studies of what is supposedly feasible in that area.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about spatial configuration on that land. Maybe they want it in a different configuration.
Well, yeah, and it could be. I mean, I think that's why the solicitation is. They bring it in, and then we review and see if that's something we want, or we go back, and that's how the negotiations go with developers on that land.
I get that, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding obtuse. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about USL. If USL comes back and we've already approved this plan, and they say, yeah, but you know what, we want this over there and this over there, well, then we have to go back to the developers and say, could you please change it? That's all I'm saying.
No, and from my discussion with USL is they also have their own developers.
Okay.
So that's why I think it was really important for us to talk with the city so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Dr. Gao, I attended the luncheon. I didn't get to participate in anything else, but yeah, they showed up with architects and the whole shebang. So,
Terrific.
yeah.
Terrific.
But to add to that, I think the more I think about it, the more it does kind of check a lot of the boxes that we were seeking for the sports park, and I'm assuming that USL is also considering the youth soccer pipeline.
Yeah.
I'm sure they figured out that Brownsville has a couple of state championships in soccer, and it's really popular here in
Yeah.
not just, I wouldn't say the valley, more in Brownsville
Yeah.
than in any part of the valley.
When I talked to the mayor, I was like, okay, so we have this study. And I was like, we should talk with everybody, just so we're all on the same page. And I was like, because part of me is like, maybe we need to wait to USL. And then the mayor said, yeah. But then he's like, well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe we need to keep going forward so it can be competitive.
Right.
And so they can show that we're serious.
It could be also one of those incentives that will make them make a decision.
Yeah.
Because then we'll see,
That's
we don't even have to worry about bringing developers of our own. We're gonna be part of that mix. Like, we have our own developers coming
Yeah.
in, the city and the BCS, and then they will be part of that, right, of that vision. You know what I'm saying? So we take some of that stress or hassle, if you wish.
And did you get a sense of what else they wanted besides the undeveloped land?
That's just
They want cash, they want incentives, they want,
No,
Anything?
from the conversation, and from what they've done in other cities, it's a P3. It's a collaboration. So they do whatever, they're going to look at and see how much the stadium needs to get up to their requirements, because they need at least a minimum of 5,000 seating. Right now, we're at 4,200. So there needs to be additional seating added. But they also like additional activities in certain areas of the stadium, and that because that's a revenue generating, and it can be generated when there's no games, party decks and such. And so they're looking at how much the upgrades are, and that's where the owners and investors come in too, to see what they would put in. When we went to Spokane, it was a P3. Their school district was building the stadium, and so they were able to come in at the same time, and their investors put in so much money for the bill out as well, so they could have some upgrades that they would want for their soccer teams. And so that's something that we'll look at. Right now, it's all up in the air.
And is it
But there's definitely an opportunity.
and I apologize for not being here, I was out of town when that was happening, but, and so I apologize for all the questions.
That's okay.
Is it conceivable that the city would come to us and say, okay, this is what they want, we need BCIC to participate in funding XYZ?
Yes,
So then we need to be at that table for sure.
most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I also see other, like BISD, UTRGV, even IDEA coming to the table as well.
Sure, absolutely.
And also, the land itself, everything will be developed on the BCIC, supposedly own land.
Yeah.
So that's already
So we
It's
get more of
just-
those plaques, right?
it's already.
So
It's
it's,
a big one.
it's really important for us to get ahead of it instead of,
I agree. I agree.
yeah. But it's very exciting. I mean, I was very impressed when we went to Washington and we went to that summit. We had dinner with the owner. We went to a soccer game. I was really impressed with the professionalism that they had. And then when they came down and they visit with us, first the owners and the CEO came down, and then a week later, then the delegation came. And it's just, they're nice guys.
But
And
I think going back to what you said earlier, I think it's very important to have that meeting with the city and so forth, and also try to our best to accomplish whatever we can accomplish from that comprehensive plan, because there was some input from the community, regardless of how big it is or not.
Yep.
But how many we had participate from community inputs? And
I can't
meetings
recall,
and-
I'm sorry.
So we have that part too, so we wanna try to, and again, the good thing is
Honor it.
it's not conflicting with what they envision. They're both calling for the same thing, which is a mixed use. The only difference is just what's the anchor piece, and in this case, it's gonna be the
Yeah.
United Soccer League Stadium, which is great, right? So, just, keep us in the.
I will. I'll keep you in the loop on that, and so we can then figure out the meeting.
Participated in the luncheon and the stadium. Great. It was good, well attended. There was a lot of positive attitude about it.
Well,
No.
I have another question. Who's leading the effort to get the team?
It's the city commission, the city.
The city commission?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. No, I just wanted to provide an update.
You good?
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving on to items for individual consideration. Item 9, consideration, discussion, and acknowledgement of the July 2025 financial report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Board. Rafael Garcia from the City of Brownsville, the Finance Department. I'm here to present the financial statements through the month of July 2025. The first slide we have the balance sheet, which shows total assets of $18,246,000, mostly composed of the bank accounts, $378,000, and in the investments account, $17.2 million. We do have an accounts receivables balance of $676, which is due from the city for the sales tax for the month of May, sorry. Then we do have the liabilities, which are bills pending to be paid as of July 31st, was at $22,492, leaving us with the fund balances of $18,223,799, composed of the restricted fund balance, committed, assigned, strategic initiatives and sponsorships, the emergency reserve, and the unrestricted fund balance of $4.3 million. Basically, the restricted is that includes all the city agreements that BCIC have with for the administration fees, the airport debt service, the Dignity Trailer project. We do have $826,000 committed in big grants and $9.4 million in quality of life projects. Any questions on this balance sheet? This is just an analysis of the fund balances changes throughout the months from October through July. Last month we were at 10.4 under committed. It went down by 10.2. Basically, there was a couple of payments made, one of the quality of life payments and one payment on the big grants. We do show the unrestricted fund balance going up from 3.4 to 4.4. And basically, because we had revenues of 1.3 million, which is composed of the sales tax for the month of June. And then we do have the receipt from GBIC for 500,000. And then we had other revenues of approximately 150,000. Expenditures were only at 369,000, so that's why we had an increase in the fund balance for the unrestricted fund balance. The Dignity Trailer, the payment for the Dignity Trailer was a payment for 39,000, so it decreased the restricted. So we're using some of those funds that are tied up that are restricted. And on the
Sorry.
yes.
Finish your.
And then we do have the assigned balances. It did increase by 80,000 because we did identify some other business recovery grants that were approved back in May. Any questions on this slide?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm confused about the committed chart there, the line. Isn't that, what do you call it, cumulative, like based on how much we have been committing over the year by month?
Correct, this,
let's
how
say
much you
by
had
July,
committed.
we have committed, so my assumption is like by July, we have committed more funds through the requests that came than what we have in March. So this should have been steadily going up because every meeting we come in, there is more asks come in and we commit to those asks.
Right, because
that make
once
sense?
you
So-
commit as a project, it does increases the committed balance.
Yeah.
But if there's a payment made on the quality of life projects, it decreases it.
Oh, you subscribe.
So
Yeah.
it's, right, because we need to take it out from the committed balances whenever you pay up something like for the quality of life projects or for the big grants.
Okay.
So
For
like-
example, if you were to approve those items that they were presented,
That's,
they'll probably come out from the committed
Yeah.
balance. It will decrease the committed balance because you're using those funds. Yes, Corey?
yeah, like the 7.4 million when we started out in October.
Yeah.
Those were the projects from last year.
Correct.
And so you can see we steadily, we proved something and then we paid off something probably in 2023, 24, and we were paying down, and then when February, March came, because we did our cycles, not only for our quality of life, but also the city's cycles. And so that went straight up, and then that, like
Right.
Rafa was saying, that then we're paying down other projects in the past.
Right, so that's why the trend I mean, it depends, if you pay more than what you approve, it's gonna go down on the committed balance. The GBIC money is included.
Thank you.
And then we have the budget to actual comparisons through July for the 10 months. As we can see, revenues are at 7.5 million compared to the budgeted at 9.3, so we're at 81% collections. And this reflects sales tax receipts through the month of June. We won't have the July numbers until next month. So it'll take about 2 or 3 weeks before we get the July numbers. And the GBIC monies is included there, the 500,000. Any questions on this slide, the revenues? Then we have the expenses for the 10 months of July. The actual expenses, outflows of money is going out is at 4.6 million. We do have 10.4 million committed in projects. So as we can see, the quality of, in the big grants, we have 193,000 in expenses, but we do have encumbered 261,000 from prior years that were committed. No, from this current year, sorry. From this current year, 800 was budgeted. We've there's been $193,000 in payments, and 261,000 has been committed or encumbered. And these are it's only on projects for 2025. Then we do have the big grants from prior years that were approved. From those grants, 412,000 has been paid. So, but we still have 566,000 committed. On the quality of life projects, for the fiscal year 2025, there was 5.2 million budgeted. There's no payments done on those grants that have been approved, those quality of life projects that has been committed, but they have been committed or encumbered already. The 4.8, which include everything you all approved back in May or in March and throughout this fiscal year. So 92% of what was budgeted has been already committed. Then we have the prior year's quality of life projects. We have 1,667,000 that has been paid out. So we still have 4.5 million that's pending or pending to be paid, that has been committed. And then, yes,
On the big grant, is the 57% include the 2 years, or is it just based on the?
it's just for the current fiscal
On this
year,
year's
that what was
budget.
budgeted.
Okay.
Basically, what we're doing, we're rolling over whatever balances you have from prior years is being rolled over to this current year. So you're gonna be using your fund balances as you expense prior year projects.
It says community development 2025 appropriated. Do you recall what that is? Because I'm a little, is that maybe under all the other strategic initiatives?
It is the budgeted amount,
It's, yeah, it says,
the 1.7, Basically,
Oh,
what
I
we-
see it, 1.7.
Yeah, basically what we have
Yeah,
the
it's the-
BCIC project for 1.6 and 100,000 for the cultural events and
Okay.
marketing
All right,
campaigns. Yeah,
I didn't see the 1.7. Okay, thank you.
yes. So we've only expensed 119,000, which is basically on the,
And then with the
Marketing
ones
and
that
all
we
that.
assigned
Right.
today.
so that's where it's gonna be posted, the, whatever you commit, whatever you committed today.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on this budget to actual expenses? If not, then we do have the sales tax history analysis. As we can see, we've collected through the month of June, we've collected 5.8 million compared to last year. During the same time, it was at 5.7. So we've had an increase of 156,000 for the fiscal year compared to last year. So based on the actual steady collections, we're estimated to collect about 7.8, 7.9 million approximately in sales tax. Any questions on the sales tax? Oh, so that's my report. Sorry.
It's just for
Okay.
acknowledgement.
Yes, we do need a motion for acknowledgement.
Motion to acknowledge the fiscal report as presented. Aye.
Thank you.
If you want to just stick around, just in case the board has any questions on the next one, it's just the budget.
I'll stick around.
All right, item 10, consideration, discussion, and action on the adoption of the fiscal year 2026 budget.
All right, board, we took this, budget that we did in the workshop on August 8th. We took it to the city commission, and it was approved as shown. And I just want to go over it just real quickly on what we worked on that. So our total revenues is 8.4 million, and our total expenditures is 8.99 million, with a $500,000 reduction. That's to support the launch of the new, and this is the name still under consideration, is the Small Business Enhancement Program. This shows you the chart that we presented to City Commission, shows that out of the expenses, almost nearly half of it goes to the city's quality of life, which is 45%, and the rest goes from admin to all of our other initiatives that we do. And that 87% of our projected sales tax is revenue. Just a reminder, what we're phasing out is the Small Business Recovery Fund. Hopefully we will be hopefully by the end of next month, fingers crossed. We're continuing our quality of life, not only with the city, but also with ours, our entrepreneurship programs, our big programs. What's new this coming year is the Small Business Enhancement Program, which is big on wheels, so to speak. We will be hosting town talks in districts to decide what is the needs of the business community, and then we'll come back with, we have an idea, but we really want to talk with the business owners at districts to find out what their needs are. And then we'll come back to the board in the next few months to show what we're going to come up with and our ideas. Because we've had different ideas and they've been pivoting back and forth. So we want to definitely hear about what the business needs are. And go ahead.
For those town talks, you don't have, I suggest you do not have them unless you're in collaboration with the commissioner of that.
Yes.
But you don't wanna go out with something that they don't.
No, it's really important also because we need them to help drive it once we initiate it. Another one is the Incubation Action Program. That's just to provide membership to the ones who are going through our programs so they can continue being a part of eBridge ecosystem. And then our Blueprint Lab renovations.
For this one, I thought we kind of tried to make this new initiative a little bit more broader and campus wider stakeholders that are just the business. I'm not saying it's not good, but I thought we talked about like community and business enhancement program to just, because you never know what you're gonna find out once you do these like if you go out with this name, you already kind of limit.
No, this is internal. We will not come up with a name or anything.
But we already approved the budget, and we need to very quickly.
Well, we have to name something of it.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, like, we need to come, like, we can't present the budget already approved under this title, like, we need to quickly come up with a name, and I think we suggested community and business enhancement or whatever, just, to keep it simple and make it abroad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to dwell on this too much, we want to just move on.
We do,
Come up
and
with-
like I said, we even have ideas on what it's gonna be, but really, we wanna just hold back on our ideas and hear from the people in the districts before we really, before we say this is what it's gonna be.
And remember, every district has 4 representatives, the mayor, the 2 at-large, and the district themselves.
Okay. Okay, and this will just show you, again, our budget allocation from each of our strategic goals of our 5. This is the budget allocation. And then we have the comparison of what was last year to this year and the variance on that. And again, we do plan to come to the board again once our books are closed with what's remaining on the unrestricted and propose, and we've talked about, what we would like to put in to increase the funds. Also, I want to also not announce, but really just let you know that GPEC has also put in an additional $500,000 in their budget for this coming year. So this is not shown in the allocation. And so we still need to figure out the agreement and what it'll be for. And so once we got the MOU in place for this coming year, then that's another reason why we need to come back for a budget adjustment. Yes. Yes. And so just want you to formally approve the budget as what was presented to the City Commission and what we discussed in the workshop.
Any questions or comments? This is not public comment, right?
No, there's no public comment. We already did that.
Don't forget your mics.
Any questions or comments?
We haven't discussed yet the guidelines for these programs, right?
No. 2 of the guidelines are coming up at the end of this meeting for big but we've already approved the budget. I mean, in the workshop, this is what we discussed, and this is what was presented to the City Commission.
Any other questions?
So then,
I'm sorry.
what is, I'm a little confused. If we approved it during the workshop, then what are we doing with this
Well,
one?
we did not do
didn't
an
take a
action in workshop.
Right.
We
So
didn't take
this
a
is
vote
the
in
formal. Because the city hosted a public hearing last week in regards to our budget. There was no public comment. It will go for the second reading, so this is formalizing the adoption of next year's budget.
So there's a second reading of the budgets.
On
for-
City Commission.
For the City Commission. Okay.
And there was no changes suggested on the City Commission side.
Any other questions? It freaks me out, that microphone thing. Okay, hearing no further questions, is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve the budget as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Next item.
Item 11, consideration, discussion, and action to approve a marketing and media service agreement with the City of Brownsville's Communications and Marketing Department for fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $36,000.
Good evening. It's literally what it says right there. The city marketing department approached us and said, hey, I think there's room for more collaboration outside of the projects that we are going to promote that had to do with the quality of life that the city of Brownsville is doing with the BCIC funds. So they offer to create a couple of things for us through their services, which is covering ribbon cuttings, producing up to 5 pieces of video content for social media and television, promoting these pieces of content through their network, and also enhancing the messaging that we have at BCIC. So at BCIC, we're generally good about thinking about great ideas, new ideas, because we have 15 plus heads thinking about them, right? But when it comes to doing the communication itself, we only have 2 pairs of hands, which is Rudy and me. So we need support in that area of telling the stories, and I would love to tell the stories of the women pipe feeders that we heard earlier right now. As we have told the Good Neighbor, the Brownsville Wellness Coalition, the BARC, small businesses that we have told through video as well. And actually, we won a couple of awards with those videos that we've done. So through the collaboration with the City of Brownsville Marketing Department, we will be expanding those messages and efforts. So just wanted to clarify, that's why I underlined it, that the coverage that they will be doing through this service agreement will be additional to the quality of life projects that it's going to be covered because it's part of the city. So anything additional to that and additional pushes of content, it's going to be done through this service. So just another part of it is that they're going to share our press releases or communication efforts with their network, and also help us organize press conferences or gather the people like we did when we announced the RGB Startup Week. So all of these things are going to be included in the service agreement. Lastly, this is important too, it's going to be covered with funds from the fiscal year 2025, and BCIC will retain ownership of all the video and pictures and media created, so we can repurpose it later for anything that we may need. So do you have any questions about the service agreement?
I do.
Yes.
Early on in the year, you guys were presenting us with the number of media hits and Facebook and Twitter and all of that good stuff. And if I'm correctly remember, everything was trending in the positive. Like everything was going very, very, very well.
Yes.
Right? I'm assuming we're still on the same. We haven't seen reports since then about how we're going.
Yes,
with this.
we're there.
So I'm assuming we are on the right path. We're still trending and so forth.
Yes.
So how is, first of all, why we need this then, if things are working in a positive way for us as is? And if we get this, what's the boost? How much of a boost you're gonna get?
Right, the city social media, so social accounts have 10 times the amount of followers that we have. So that's something. They also have an extensive network of media partners that we can eventually create us or on network, but we do have that social proof that, hey, the city's also promoting this. Now, when it comes to marketing, the way I see it is like fuel. Yeah, a full tank will get you somewhere, but you have an additional tank, which in this case is this promotion from the city, you'll get much further. So that's the way I see it. That's the way we can leverage their networks and use their reach too. So we're doing great, but if we have more fuel, we can do better.
It's to also offset, so we tell the city, hey, go cover this ribbon cutting, so that way they don't have to build that content and they can use their time to build content for something else.
Right. So it's not a replacement, it's an additional helping hand to our efforts. So we do have a lot of things to cover, and if you think about it, each one of we have a lot of work, that's not a secret, right? And our work is to communicate the work of 5 other people, which is and their impact, right? So it's not an easy task for just a team of 2 people. So that's why this will be a great support.
And we feel like this is coming at the time of, we had, the past 2 years, we've approved a lot of projects. And so a lot of projects that I don't think we have the bandwidth to cover all of them. So this will help us cover it, because this, as we approve these projects, we want to do its due diligence of promoting that project to the community. And I don't think in our bandwidth we can do its quality if we focus on all of them. So this is to help us expand.
So is that part of the agreement that you're gonna actually sign? Like they're gonna be committed to go to all of your ribbon cuttings for all these quality of life projects that we have approved outside of the city, like you just mentioned. So is that gonna be like in the commitment of?
Not all of them. We would come up with a actual, what, we talked about maybe 3 months, every month, talk about this is what we want you to do this coming month and do assignments.
Yeah, so in advance, they will know how many events we have. They set a number of 5 videos at max, and we can also discuss how many events they can cover. So we cannot stretch their bandwidth that much, right? We have to come to a number of events that they can cover maximum at a month. So yeah, on the agreement, you will see the number of events and their capacity as well.
And again, this is separate from the city's quality of life. This is our projects.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but it seems like you want us to approve something that we really don't know what it is. Like, you don't have the agreement to see, okay, what will be the product of this agreement? I mean, I understand the concept, right? The spirit of it is collaboration, coverage, great, right? But what does mean? I'm gonna go to X percentage of our events to cover it. I'm gonna produce videos for you. I'm gonna post it in our own media. This will be how many posts? I don't know how that would be quantified.
So
I'm saying, so it's
yeah, I
gonna be-
understand. Preliminary to them presenting the number of videos that they can do, we send them a calendar of the events that we know that are already going to be happening. So that would be Startup Texas, RGB Startup Week, graduation from Blueprint Business Program. So that's how they come up with this number of 5 a month will be like the max that we can do under this agreement. So we don't have an idea of everything that will happen in the future. If you look at their calendar for September, we have like 4 new events that come up just today. So there's sometimes that they will have the bandwidth to cover all of them, but with the events that we know that are already going to be happening, 5 should be enough, and that's outlined on the
5 a month.
yes, and that's outlined on the agreement that they presented to us.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item.
Thank you.
Item number 12, consideration, discussion, and action
Creative minds, bro. You can't do that.
to enter into a performance
Let it
agreement with
not
the
just
following
pay, you know.
2025 Startup Texas Emerging Industries.
Excuse me, sir. Order,
Right?
order.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
It kind of jumped there, just up there.
Hey.
All right, good evening, board. This is a further continuation of the Startup Texas Advancement Fund that you all had approved of back in May, and then we did some guideline changes back in June. Just a quick background refresher. Startup Texas Advancements Fund is our answer to scaling back the prize money that we used to give with every pitch competition. We provide up to $10,000 to graduates of the program specifically. This is a reimbursement grant though, so they must have spent the money appropriately, and then we reimburse them up to $10,000. Furthermore, it can only be used towards the prototype or development of the business, and we only allow up to 25% for marketing purposes. Here's the kind of a snapshot of allowable expenses. So applicants who have graduated from the program are permissible to apply so long as their expenses meet this ranging list up here that I can get into in more detail if you'd like. We just want to kind of further elaborate. There are non-allowable expenses, including general operations, rent, utilities, salaries of employees as such. The point of this is for scalability support and market expansion for those businesses that graduate from the program here locally. This focus aligns with our goals to ensure public funds are invested in target impactful areas, as opposed to kind of the previous approach where we would give larger checks without kind of some of this tangible stuff. So this third applicant is Magnifique. They have a startup that kind of streamlines tax refunds for international shoppers. I don't know if you all are familiar. It's a thing that happens, but nobody really utilizes it. He wants to make it more utilized in effect to try and spur even more use shopping here locally within the region. You know, by keeping 100% of the refunded taxes circulating at local retailers, we can boost a little bit more of the economy, especially here downtown.
But that's less funds for BCIC.
I was just thinking.
I know. I was ready for that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we are still supporting our local businesses, and that's kind of the more important part. And let's just be a little honest, this is a little drop in the bucket compared to the overall sales tax base. This is their milestones broken down within 4 different sections. If you kind of put on your math hat, that's clearly way more than $10,000. But these are the allowable expenses that we'll permit, so long as the receipts that they turn in for reimbursement meet within one of these milestones, then it works out. For milestone 4, I was going to remove it, but I went ahead and left it in, even though it's kind of it's a big ticket item, just for the sense that they've already, because we were a little slow, both staff and board, in kind of getting and rolling out this brand new advancement fund, some of these expenses had already been pursued, and I wanted them to be able to take advantage of further expenses.
So how exactly does it work? I meant their app.
Their app?
Yeah, it's an app, right?
It's, yeah. It's a mobile app. They I can upload their receipts, and then it kind of takes care of the administrative sense for them, and then gets it over to the state so they can get the reimbursement.
Is that really possible? Because when I go to Europe, always if I buy a suitcase, this happened to me the last time I went, I missed going to the store, in the store where I was buying the suitcase, to get it stamped, so that when I went to the airport, they would give authorize. So I lucked out. Does it really work with an app? Don't you have to?
He somehow has gotten it to. I can bring him in for the next board meeting, or even have him provide us an update. No, I mean, these are great questions, so I'd love for us to have that answer.
Because I don't remember to go downstairs in the store to get my damn receipt stamped.
I think the biggest thing is like electronic stuff, right? Like TVs, stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's used for mostly. I didn't think something like this would existed already. I mean, it's still done the old school way.
It's what the manifiesto is, right? Where
Yeah, it's
so don't you have to present that stamped paperwork, and then they give you the refund?
And he's trying to streamline all of that with his application. To
But
like
how
upload
would that
scan.
work for the business to keep that for their records, to be able?
For which business specifically?
Well, any business that you buy, you have to go to the broker to get your manifiesto, your paperwork, go back to that business, present it to them. They keep that paperwork, give you your money back.
And
That's what I'm saying. You're saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've done retail 25 years. So, I mean, and you're right, there's really not a big market now, especially not at the mall anymore. They used to have them at the mall, but it seems kind of odd. It seems like everybody has to be on the same app to be able to have that possible. Because it's really, I think, it'll be interesting. I mean, we might get there, but I think it has to be something from the state of Texas to launch that app so we can all go onto that.
I know that about a month ago, they were working with the State Tourism Board on this as well, and then they were working with the CVB too.
But
so there's.
It's a good idea.
There's something there, but these are great questions, and I have them kind of on live stream, so I can reference back, and I'll get you all and make sure that we disseminate that over to you all.
And how much are we giving?
He can, if he submits all of his paperwork, he can get up to $10,000. This is the kind of broad view of their economic impact, which we're now requiring every single applicant to include. So 3 full-time jobs, projected of 6-figure revenues within the next year. They're already collaborating with a few of our local entrepreneurs for the actual MVP, and just overall trying to increase more foot traffic and tourism, and just getting people to spend more within our local businesses. This is our 3rd advancement fund applicant. We're barely underway with the very first 2 that were approved last board meeting. It's a different process. This is the first time our department's ever had a reimbursement grant entrepreneurship department. But it's good. It came out of the audit. I actually feel more comfortable going this route than the previous route of the big pitch competition check and then kind of follow-ups and such.
Is this an acknowledgement or?
No, this is a full action item.
I'll
It
make a
is
motion.
10,000 and under, which we could change to make it staff-oriented, but I really like getting the feedback, as you all have just provided.
I'll
from the
make a
board.
motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes. Item 13, consideration, discussion, and action to approve the following applications for the Brownsville Small Business Recovery Fund contingent upon receiving receipt of all required housing and urban development HUD documentations and execution of a performance agreement with BCIC for A, Ledesma Construction, and B, JN 316 Embroidery and Screen Printing.
Good evening, Board. So before I jump into the applications that we received, I do want to provide a quick an overview of the program. So the Brownsville Small Business Recovery Fund is a joint initiative between BCAC and the City of Brownsville to support local businesses that were impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. So these are not BCAC funds, these are HUD funds. So the program provides forgivable loans. We have two categories. One is for micro enterprises, which is 10,000, and this is for businesses that have from 1 to 5 employees. Excuse me. And we have the small business category, which is $20,000 for businesses that have from 5 to 60 employees, 50, I'm sorry. So to qualify, the business must have been operating prior to June 2020, be located within the City of Brownsville, be owned or employed in low to moderate income individual, and also show at least 15% of loss in revenue. So in order to forgive the loan, we ask the businesses to remain open for at least 3 months after receiving the funding, and for the small business category to retain at least 1 full-time employee. So we did receive 2 complete applications, micro enterprise categories. The first one is Ledesma's Construction. It's owned by Jorge Ledesma. The business activity is construction. It is located within the city limits, and it is owned by a low to moderate income individual. They currently employ 3 employees, and they encountered a loss of 155% loss during the pandemic, which is the year 2020. And we also have JN 316 Embroidery and Screen Printing. The owner is Juan Carlos Sanchez. It's a printing and embroidering services. It is located within the Brownsville city limits. It is also owned by low to moderate business owner, and they currently employ 2 full-time employees. They did encounter a loss of 98% during the pandemic, and both are eligible for $10,000. So in total, $20,000. Year to date, we have a balance of $61,667. If these are funded, we will end up with a balance of $41,667.
So that's the max that they're eligible for?
Yes, we have 2 categories. So micro enterprise, it's 10,000, and if it's a small business category, it's 20,000.
It's very helpful to have that net loss or gross revenue loss.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 14, consideration, discussion, and action to approve the following fiscal year 2025 business improvement and growth, BIG, rental reinvestment and rehabilitation grant applications subject to execution of performance agreement with BCIC, A through Z.
Do I just present it and they come back in? Because how is that going to work out when it comes to voting?
We do have quorum for the other, all 3 of them, but that's a good question.
I didn't think about that.
Deborah, we have a conflict for A because they both sat on the board. Is for item A. Should we just present item A and have them come back and then we do B and C? Yes.
Alrighty, awesome. Good evening, everyone. Just a quick recap on the program. We do have 2 categories that fall under the BIG program, which is our rental reinvestment program, where we assist with monthly reimbursements for business owners and their rent. And the other is our rehabilitation, which is our rehabilitation for buildings to activate vacant buildings. Target areas, of course, are boundaries of the big program, which is downtown and our midi-cultural district. Our rental program, like I mentioned, it's monthly. It's a monthly reimbursement grant that we have. 50% of the rent, up to $1,250, is returned back to the businesses to assist with employee costs and operations. They must be located within boundaries, in operation at a minimum of 3 months. Up to 6 months is what they have to apply for the program itself. They must have all city permits and employ 2 people that are not the owner. And they must submit documentation such as cash flow, their business plan, profit and loss statements, number of employees they have, etc. So we have one application for this month. It is the Brownsville Wellness Coalition. They are at 1018 East Washington. Applicant was Mr. Eduardo Garcia, representing the organization. They currently have 14 employees, 5 full-time, 9 part-time. They originally established back in, I could not do the math, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's back in June of 2008. They moved locations and they just set up their crosshatch on March 1st of this year. Their total annual rent is $29,100. For the first year, they're paying $2,350, and the second year is $2,500. Their request is for $14,475 to assist with rent for the next year. As we all know, they oversee the farmers market, our mobile markets, urban farms, community gardens, nutritional education, as well as other outreach and wellness events, and will be a very big part of the cannery once it is up and running. The numbers are a little different, but yes, the request is for $14,475. Right now, awarded to date, we've had $455,096. This would be $14,475 if approved, along with the other project. I honestly can't do the math in my head of what it would come out to. But the 4, yeah. So yes, that is the only. Yes, there are funds available. So that is our only rental application. The next application would be for a standard.
I'll make a motion to approve 14A.
Thank you.
Well, you're the chair.
I have a question. Do you know why they're no longer taking advantage of the free office space at the School of Public Health?
I do not. No, that is.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you. Oh wait, can you turn on your mic?
My mic was on, but I'll turn it on again.
Oh, okay.
My mic was on, but I turned it on again. My question was if Eric knew why they were no longer taking advantage of the free rent situation at the School of Public Health.
My understanding is they outgrew the space because they were sharing the space with the School of Public Health, Rose Timmer, so Healthy Communities. In the past 3 years, they've grown. I think they only had like 4 employees, so they've grown to, how many do they have now? 14 in total? 14. So they didn't have enough space.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I second that motion.
So there was a motion, there was a second. Any other questions? We're good, Tracy? Do we vote, right? Please say aye.
Aye.
It's up to you.
Aye.
I vote in favor.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed? I'm just waiting for you, Tracy. that's what I meant. Oh, okay. You voted what? She voted aye. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, motion passes.
Alrighty, so we did have one application for our standard rehabilitation program, which is for tenants and business building owners to do facade restoration, exterior improvements, bringing the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing up to code, and soft costs in such as architecture, engineering, and historic preservation. Ineligible uses for the standard and, well, for the big program would be roof repair, HVAC installation, specifically for standard, grease trap installation, flooring, carpeting, asbestos testing, demolition, debris removal, cosmetic only improvements. The funding terms for this are also reimbursable. 50% match of the eligible costs, $25,000 for the exterior and $35,000 for the interior. Our application is for the original Townside Holdings at 1021 East Washington. The owners of the Townside Holdings are Eddie Lucio and his partner Antonio Menchaca, who's an expert in real estate. We do have here building in 1920. They actually did do a little bit of investigation. So the building was actually built between 1894 and 1909. They're still working on getting the details on the confirmation. Earliest record we have of this business itself was actually the Overstreet hardware store back in 1946. We have been meeting with Mr. Menchaca. I have been meeting with Mr. Menchaca and Mr. Lucio over this project since, I believe, May. And they've been working closely with Mr. Velez from the historic, from head of historic, that way to ensure that everything is in full compliance with the requirements. So their project timeline is from August of, well, obviously this month, up until March of 2025. 2026, sorry, another typo. Total project cost is a little bit over $352,000. The request is for $16,277 for the exterior and $25,000 for the interior. This is the design of what their goals are for the end product of the building. As far as for the project scope, for the interior, it's going to be installation of updated electrical panels, wiring and outlets, plumbing, sanitary drainage, and venting throughout the entire building, as well as installation of full fire suppression system and reinforcement for the framing for the building in load-bearing areas, because there is a second floor that will be used for private events. The floor is, I would say, maybe about half of this room. It's very, I guess, very private, I guess. Yeah, there we go. And as far as for the facade, it would be going towards preservation and the restoration of the historic details, including the masonry, stucco, trim work, the awning, the doors, and the windows. They already do have a tenant that already has agreed and signed, which is Kikapu Zapache Raiz y Juego Restaurant. It is a mouthful, but it is a restaurant that's already established in Matamoros. Like I said, with an estimated completion date of March 1st, 2026. Before I move on, does anybody have any questions?
I thought we listed as a matter of course that on the applicants, it wouldn't just list the LLC, but the main member as well. But you're saying it's who exactly? It's
Mr. Eddie Lucio and Antonio Menchaca. They're the owners of the original Townside Holdings, the LLC, the
Okay.
business structure itself.
And it's not in the packet anywhere. But didn't we have that as a habit, that the names would be listed?
We normally list their names.
It's not on here.
It's not on here? Yeah, we normally list the names, the property owners' names.
You're talking about the property owner, right, not the restaurant owner?
The
Applicants.
applicant, right. It's not just the LLC, it's the main.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
Or
normally list
Yeah.
the applicant's name as well.
we can
And
get
it's
back,
in the performance agreement, it's listed in there.
okay. It'd be good to get back to that. I don't see it in the
Mhm.
packet either.
I think that might have been just a slip up
Mhm.
this time.
You mentioned this is one small scale rehabilitation guidelines?
Under the standard, yes.
Why is that? This is, to me, it's like, are they not rehabilitating the whole building in and out, 2 floors?
So the second floor is really practically doesn't need a lot of work. All the plumbing is done for the second floor because it was being used prior. All of the work is going to be for the entirety of the first floor, other than a couple of structural and load-bearing areas.
Yeah, but, sorry.
And total project cost, yes. 352, 352,000, sorry.
Oh, and this one falls to 335, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
off the eligible costs with under extensive, it would hardly have been anything compared to what the request is here.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, which is what we're gonna talk about with the guidelines.
I'll make a motion to approve 14B.
So just for the record, with the approval, it would be 65,752 for this month. With our remaining balance would be $279,152.
Sorry, you mentioned B, are we gonna do B and C separate or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next item.
Oh, sorry.
It's the same item. I moved with the approval of motion for TC.
But I have a question. I think it's, my question is the same as Mark had. Who are the owners of Kickapoo, Apache, Reese, and Fuego?
No, they're the owners of Townside Holdings. They already have a tenant that's gonna be renting out.
Right, who are the tenants?
I have it in my emails. It's
It's not an elected official.
oh, no.
No.
These are important questions.
Yeah, no, it's not like that official.
Okay.
But the applicant is the owner, right?
Yeah, the applicant is the owner.
Number C, the applicant is the restaurant that's renting it.
No.
No,
That's
no.
just referencing the business the tenant that they already have for the
I
restaurant.
beg your pardon.
No, the applicant is still the owner for both, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll move with the approval 14C.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nay.
Next item.
Item 15, consideration, discussion, and action to approve the updated guidelines and eligibility requirements for the Business Improvement and Growth BIG grant program and the Quality of Life grant program.
Alrighty, it's me again. Okay, so these are the changes and the proposed updates for our Quality of Life grant for fiscal year 26. So the purpose of these updates is to ensure alignment with the code compliance for the Texas local government for Type B EDCs. Of course, to align it better with our strategic plan that we've established. And of course, to assist with the city and our own selves for equity, transparency, and long-term sustainability for the projects that we do fund. So the changes are going to, for eligibility, will be that they will now have to include a sustainability plan for the projects that they do propose, such as who's going to be maintaining it, what the expectations are, and the kind of reporting they will be doing. Next would be for it to be publicly accessible without exclusive membership or prohibitive fees, such as additional fees that some businesses may tack on to the consumers. Currently, applicants only have to be an active business for 2 years. We are now going to be asking for 2 years of financial statements for the actual organization. And tax returns, sorry. And then multi-phase projects will only be considered if each phase is actually independently usable and fundable. A new addition that we discussed was a planning and feasibilities grant within the Quality of Life. It would be up to $25,000 for a 50-50 match. That way it would be able to support feasibility studies, architectural and engineering plans, and ensure future projects and applications that we get will be shovel ready. There is a example of the rubric that we'll be using. The maximum base points is 95, with a possible score with bonuses up to 115. The minimum score for these applications to be considered would have to be 70 points. And of course, they get bonus points for, to provide preference, but bonus points provide preference, but are not required for eligibility. So our community impact to improve quality of life, increase public use, tourism, sales tax, revenue, or jobs would be 25 points. Project budget and leverage, which is a strong budget, 20% match, partner funding, cost efficiency would be 20 points. Project details such as clear goals, scope, marketing, readiness, addresses defined need would be 20 points. Project sustainability, again, plan for 5 years of maintenance, financial, and operational stability would be 15. Organizational capacity would be the organization's track record, stability, alignment with our mission, and proven results, 15 points. And then the bonus points would be strategic alignment bonus, aligning with our strategic plan, and then in reference to equity, innovation, tourism, and sustainability would be 15 points. And then environmental sustainability bonus points for including green design, conservation, or climate resilience would be an extra 5 points. So the criteria for the evaluation would be a new emphasis for, like I said, towards our strategic plan, environmental sustainability, economic impact, and equity and inclusion. And additional, the public scoring rubric is going to be published annually, and we will be starting to do post-project outcomes, post-project reporting after for anybody approved. And final 20% of the funds will be held until completion and signage is installed. That is another change. Before we did not have where they had to have the signage installed before the final approval and final report. And of course, there will be a priority for regional and multi-partner projects. That way the organizations can work with other partners within the city. So to summarize, the proposed updates strengthen legal compliance with Type B EDC rules, equity by prioritizing underserved communities, transparency and accountability in funding, capacity for long-term sustainable community impact, and alignment with our BCIC strategic plan goals. So if approved, we will incorporate these revisions into our quality of life grant guidelines. We will post the updated guidelines to the website to ensure the transparency. Then we will open the application portal immediately after the guidelines are published, which would be September 1st. Then once we review applications, after the deadline of December 1st, we will see the total amount of funds requested and whether requests can be accommodated with the current budget allocation, and if necessary, we will come to the board as part of the amendment for the budget in January or February.
Can you go back to that square that had the point system on it? That one. So why is environmental sustainability? Okay, I misinterpreted that. You're talking about if the project is environmentally
Correct, bonus points.
sustainable. But what if it's a green project in and of itself? It just gets the, I guess it, okay, never mind, I answered my question. My bad. Anybody have questions?
I want to talk about the sustainability plan.
That was my question.
Why we're, first of all, how we came up about 5 years sustainability plan? Like why we decided 5, not 3, not 4?
Well, that could be changed. It could be lowered and adjusted. But I think it's just to make sure that these projects that people are presenting is going to last. We don't want it to be a project where we fund and then within 2 years they won't have an idea, a plan, or I guess for them to have a.
We took in consideration the amount of funding that we put out to the past entities.
Yes.
So we took in consideration of that amount and, accumulate for that amount, $150,000, which is one of the smallest ones that we did, what would be an idea sustainability for them to come back? And we thought 5 years of just going straight across the board.
But you're only asking for 2 years of financial.
To show, because we've asked for them to be in business for a minimum of 2 years. And so we're asking for the 2 years of financial to, again, show proof that they've been operational for the past 2 years.
And are in good standing.
To me, this is hey, how are we gonna score that? Like, what will be your criteria to say, oh yeah, they have sustainability plan? Who is gonna decide that? And what are the? It's like you're creating a guideline within the guideline to start looking to these applicants and also kind of, in a sense, scare them of apply because like what you mean 5 feet? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean? In your mind, oh, do you have a structure? Do you have an office? Do you have this, that? But when I read a sustainability plan, that's a very big thing. That's require a lot of thought and strategy and planning. You know what I'm saying? So maybe not a strategic plan. Maybe we call it something else. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be careful about how we present this and be able to explain it well to the potential applicants, because when you talk about sustainability, that's a big term there, right? Many entities struggling with. So
How do you know if it's operationally stable if it doesn't exist? It's a new, let's say, a new thing.
What would be more of an outlook of what their expectations are for the project?
Yeah.
That's really arbitrary. Wouldn't that be more what your past record of it, what the record of that, let's say, organization is?
For me, the way I looked at the sustainability is, are they putting money aside in their budget for capital improvements? For instance, if it was assisting with the infrastructure of a building, are they putting money aside in their budget year to, help with, because we've seen in prior projects that they don't have a capital improvements line item. And so they don't have no maintenance.
Life, right? This is a quality of life grant.
Correct.
Some of those entities that came in the past, they didn't have building, they didn't like, it was about providing service for their, stakeholder, meaning helping the league or creating a new program for the children that they're serving, right? It has nothing to do with their facility per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not, yeah, sometimes it requires a plan, like the Good Neighbor Settlement. They needed a plan for their rehabilitation of the building, but many others didn't have buildings in their proposal.
Well, like to address that, for one of them is like, they have a program manager, so the sustainability is, making sure they have that program manager, every year as to, to do the program. That's sustainability.
I feel like you're creating something that is gonna just open all can. I mean, go ahead.
I would say just exactly be clear on what a sustainability plan is. I mean, you can interpret that 1,000 ways. So maybe we need to set some basic parameters and say, okay, this is what we, BCIC, is
looking
for. Most of these folks, I can guarantee, are not going to have a sustainability plan.
It's like last year we did.
Is that fair to say?
We did the auditing thing, and we discovered, oh my God, like no, that means 99% of that organization will not qualify, and we went back and we kind of, took that out. We're doing the same thing. We're making something new now that you need to explain to every single applicant what this means and how we're gonna score it and what you're gonna include, and they will be like, okay, I will have that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand where you're trying to go, and I get where you're trying to do. But I'm gonna go back to a project that we did, not we, that as in BCIC, but many years back, Marcia Griffin, a very respected pediatrician, wrote a grant to teach kids how to ride bikes. And the project included the cost for the bikes, the cost for the helmets. It was through one of the I think it was the Texas Medical Association. And but they still needed some more money to provide the hourly rate for the people that were going to teach the kids how to ride bikes. It was a one-time, never been done before. There wasn't an organization behind them. And so let's say that kind of project came here. I mean, I would think everyone on the board would want to give them a 10 grand or whatever to be able to teach kids to ride bikes. It's a very nice thing to do. But that kind of a plan is not going to have financial and operational stability. It's not going to have a track record. There are lots of things on there it's not going to have. So you want to be, I think we want to be able to to, yes, be very organized and strict about big projects, but we still need the flexibility for that smaller kind of project. There was another kid that came to BCIC before that was doing a Resaca project. He was like Resaca Rangers many years back. And he needed the funds for the testing supplies to be able to test the waters in the Resaca. And so that wouldn't have fit into this. So I guess
I see.
I
Yeah.
think you have, how would you then, in those cases, they're not gonna score well on any of it, and they're not gonna get funded. So we have to have, I think, in my opinion, an ability to morph the rules for projects like that.
That could also be a bonus then instead.
What do you mean?
I don't
Yeah,
have an
this is
answer, but I'm
the
just
project
saying.
sustainability, it'd
Or
be a
call it
bonus.
Project plan, not necessarily sustainability, I don't know.
Can I just throw something out there?
Yes.
So the bicycle project had a very serious and capable partner to help manage that project. And so I think that would have gained points under organizational capacity. And if we agree that past performance might be an indicator of future success, maybe bumping up the organizational capacity rubric and leaving out the sustainability. Just take those 15 points and spread them across other places, because I really think you can assume the project sustainability based on organizational capacity. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think organizational capacity could provide you that sense of stability. Like, okay, this organization is stable, it has a structure, it has this, it has a mission, it has strategic planning. That is already, like as Tracy mentioned, indication. Like, okay, they got their business together, right? Sustainability is just like, as I said, you're gonna be dealing with this, and you're gonna be struggling with this to even explain it, right?
Mhm.
And make it, where all right, this is what I can present to you. So I like Tracy's
Yeah,
suggestion,
I do too.
think. And also it goes, I want to comment on something else, because you're saying sustainability, but then you're saying in your eligibility criteria, go back one more, there is no membership, right? Or fees.
Exclusive membership or extra fees that, apart from, say you go to the Children's Museum, it's a $10, but then they'll add on a couple extra fees that are really just unnecessary, that abide by what the actual regular cost should be.
So, for example, the zoo right now, they have the admission fee, but now they have this additional fee for the zip line that we sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean they're not going to be qualified?
That's a good question.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't think about
sometimes you guys, we need to sit down and like just
Well,
think
I mean-
back and see what that means, right? So, and we supported that addition to the zoo.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. The zoo has more traffic. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It might happen.
The-
And that's leading to the sustainability of the zoo, because now they have more revenue to do something else and maintain and enhance. So,
Yeah,
it
we
contradicting-
approached
it's-
the membership and fees as say you go to the parking garage and they have an admin fee for an extra $2. That was kind of the angle that we were looking at it as.
Yeah, but again, now it's not gonna be big, like,
Yeah.
case
Yeah.
by case, and you're creating a scenario where anybody could start
Yeah.
arguing and this,
We
So-
can drop off the fees, but I really want to consider the exclusive membership as part of and I will put in case there is recently been open a building that does recreational, but it's membership based.
So,
And so
in
I
that
don't
case, they're
really
not
want,
qualified?
I would not want to fund
Why?
them. Because it's exclusive membership, only members can use the facility, so it's not open to the
Oh.
public.
That's a good point, that's a good point.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So
Yeah, yeah.
we can drop the fees off, but the exclusive membership I'd like to keep.
No, I agree with that. Can you go back to that
Well,
support thing again?
Yes.
how would it say Camp Rio fall into the mix, even though it's semi-exclusive, but BISD students get to go? Is
Well, so
that-
does the public, and the public pays for it. It's just like,
No, I meant would Camp Rio be excluded?
no, because it's still open to the community. They do have community events, and they have the community be able to actually, they don't need to be a member to use the facility.
Okay.
There's no exclusion. You
Yeah,
can
there's
go
no exclusion.
Next
And-
summer if you want, right?
And I know that you guys had a thought going, but I wanted to ask, because this leads me to the question that I've been wanting to ask, which is, can past applicants apply for, or reapply for this program? I don't think we addressed that, did we?
So,
For,
Say Camp Rio comes back.
yes.
Yeah,
If for a different project, yes.
Or the zoo.
Yeah, because the zoo's come to us many times, the Children's Museum.
The
Yes.
museum came to us many times.
So why did you give the strategic alignment bonus 15 points, but the environmental only 5 points? Are we saying that the environment's less important than strategic alignment?
On this, it says yes, but it's not.
Well, if we're gonna go with that.
But it really
I
does
do really-
say that.
yeah,
If
I
the
know,
general
when the-
public reading that.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna go with the recommendation or the idea, then if we're taking the sustainability out, then strategic alignment will be.
The
will be like a-
organizational capacity going
will be
up.
and
I
then-
would think just taking off sustainability and then just making the other 425,
Which other four?
which would be organizational, details, budget, and community impact.
25?
25 each, and it would just be between the four with the bonus points, picking up the environment and the sustainability to match with strategic alignment, and then just grading off of that. That was just the four options with the two bonuses.
Equal, the bonuses are equal.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes. So it would be a total of one.
We could do,
But I don't.
10 and
but
10.
don't-
We could do 10 and 10.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, it's
Don't-
just,
Don't you think that alignment with the strategic plan for us is a must? Like, it's not a bonus? Like, like, it's not a bonus. That's my point. It's like, if you're taking sustainability out, you need to treat strategic alignment as a major, like, it's a must.
Then don't call it a bonus.
Don't call it a bonus,
Okay.
right?
That's the price of admission.
Like, I mean, if it doesn't align, then why are we gonna support it to start with? Right?
Good point.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Valid
So, just delete the sustainability project, because you're kind of capturing what you're trying to do with the organizational capacity, that's there.
So remove
Strategic alignment
sustainability.
is a must, because if it's not aligned, then it's not gonna qualify. And then you keep the environmental sustainability as is.
It has to align.
But even if you take out bonus for strategic alignment, I would suggest that you make the sustainability more than 5,
Yes,
because that's
make
really
it- make it-
pinche, right? And then people are gonna say.
Honestly, I'll make
People
it,
are gonna say, oh,
Yeah.
we don't really, this organization really
They're
doesn't like,
selfish.
yeah, they really don't like the
Okay.
environment.
honestly, I will put, at that point, I'll put it 15, and keep it at the 115 point. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, I agree, if we have very limited amount of project that has that environmental sustainability aspect of it. No, I mean, keep everything, right? And add 10 points to the environmental sustainability, so it becomes 15.
one bonus.
Delete the sustainability part of it,
Mhm.
just delete that component.
Well, good thing we have this on video that I can refer to it for the.
Huh?
No, just,
Yeah, we got it.
I think you need to represent it again for us, but,
And,
you
and
know.
even
Well,
though, even though an
well-
even though an organization can come back
What's that?
again, do we have a rule
Oh, we
that
need to
says
adapt
they
it.
can't
yeah, but
apply
we
again
want
until
to
they
release
finish
it
their
now,
first one?
Correct.
because we need to start promoting it.
Yeah.
In other words, one
And we don't
has to
have
be
to
complete
publish it
before
if
they
we want to
can.
publish it. We don't have to publish it.
We can make a motion to approve contingent on,
Those changes.
On those changes, and we can, bring it back to the board just for a review.
Okay, here,
Do we
I
have a
mean, I have a
second?
suggestion.
Okay.
I have a suggestion. No, I have a suggestion before to make it like, if everybody agree. You make all of these must elements 20 points even. Community impact, 20 points. Project budget, 20 points. Project
100.
detail, 20 points. Organization capacity, 20 points, and the strategic alignment, 20 points. That's 5 multiplied by 20, that's 100 points.
Correct.
You add 15 points to the environmental sustainability, because that will bring it, like, we hire you back to 115. That's what we
Okay.
had originally in the
Perfect.
score.
Everyone agree?
Okay, we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Well, we're not finished. There's
What?
still another item
Oh,
or
I beg your
still.
pardon.
That's
It's
the-
8 o'clock. Go
That's the
fast.
first,
Yeah,
that's
yes.
the first, that's one of the changes, and the second change was on the exclusive
The fees.
fees.
Just remove
Yes.
the
Remove
fees.
the fees, exclusive membership, okay.
As discussed.
Now, sorry, I had one more question about the shuffle. Sorry. No, but because they
The
have so
shuffle-
many.
oh,
they have
the-
so many
the
things that they
feasibility?
don't- Like you said, $25 for 20, what is it? The
The
shuffle deal.
feasibility?
Yeah, shuffle, shuffle,
The feasibility one. No?
this one, $25 for.
This is something new that we want to add.
To build capacity.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'm just messing with you.
We're good, thank you, sorry. You're good.
Alrighty, now for the big program, these are the proposed revisions for 26. Why we're updating is to align with the city attorney's interpretations in terms of the Code of Ethics and Texas Government Code, Chapter 573. Also to strengthen the program integrity and reduce risk, clarify eligibility and reporting requirements, improve accountability and transparency, and support small business improvements, both small business improvements and transformative projects. So first is for the rental program. Right now, we have monthly reimbursements for up to 12 months. They must hire 2 employees. It's not specified that it's on site, and clawback language we only have in the performance agreement. So the proposed for fiscal year 26 would be a hybrid reimbursement model. So months 1 through 6 would stay monthly. 7 through 9 would be obviously a quarter, and they would need to submit a 6-month sales tax return along with their TWC employer's quarterly report. And then for the second quarter, the last 3 months, the final reimbursement would be after proof of 12 months of operation, sales tax filings, and as well as the TWC employer report and on-site verification visit from staff, which would be me. Another would be specifying in the guidelines that they must hire 2 on-site employees instead of just employees. And then adding the clawback language that's on the performance agreement to our guidelines and enforce a participation form. And then we'll change the verbiage for ineligible applicants to include a 12-month cooling off period for any former BCIC staff, board members, city employees, personal financial statement filing city appointees, and immediate family members.
So that does not include PFS filing elected officials?
Yes, elected officials as well, sorry.
Do we need to clarify that?
Yeah, we can say.
That's in the city
Mhm.
thing, the city rules. Does this keep us completely aligned with the city ethics?
Yes, because we did speak with Will regarding another matter a few months ago, and this is the stuff, his recommendation and things that he specified on.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say, to Tracy's point, it doesn't say specifically elected officials, and it doesn't say,
No,
Well,
but it,
because elected officials are already on the guidelines, so we would just be adding on. But we will add on also elected officials for the 12-month cooling off period. So after they get out of office, they are unable to apply until after a year. For the property rehabilitation, currently it's standard 50-50 match, up to $25K for facade, $35K for interior. Extensive is up to $200,000 with an 80-20 match, and a 2-year preservation occupancy required. Proposed for 26 for standard, there is no change. For the extensive, we would like to create it into 2 tiers. One would be up to $250,000 with an 80-20 match, only up to $250,000 or above. Only up to $100,000 that they could reimburse for of eligible costs. Tier 2 would be projects that are $1 million and above, where they would only qualify for up to $200,000, and they must be activating at least 2 floors. We would be only reimbursing eligible costs for licensed contractors only, no self-contracting, sweat equity, or undocumented costs such as miscellaneous costs or project manager. Residential or multifamily properties will be ineligible unless they're with a commercial storefront. And as far as for reporting, after the project is done, we will be asking for semi-annual tax sales and use tax returns, and use tax returns for 2 years. There will be additional considerations in our communications and promotions for health and wellness focused projects. Sorry, my voice. We are also proposing a new storefront improvement grant. Grants will be awarded between $1,000 and $10,000. They will require a 50-50 match. It would be for facade only for any businesses that have been established more than 2 years. We're gonna go ahead and disregard the staff level approval. We're gonna remove that. Anybody that's been approved through the big grant since its since it began, it will be ineligible for this program. And as far as for reporting, there will be a project completion report, and then 1 year of self-certification of improvements, annual sales tax filing if they're a tenant, and we will be doing on-site checks twice a year. And BCIC, like once, same as the other ones, will only reimburse licensed contractors. Self-contracting, sweat equity, and undocumented costs are not legible.
What does it mean, self-certification of improvements? Under reporting. 1 year self-certification of improvements.
1, 2, 3, the fifth bullet down.
Yeah, I'm finding them.
We take your word for it. I didn't print out the note for that. I do apologize.
Project completion report, 1 year
Was-
self-certification of improvements.
Because we're gonna check, right? It's-
Yeah,
we're just gonna
Yeah.
take their word.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
check.
so for either, it'll be the same as it is now. Whenever there's a final reimbursement, it's me showing up to confirm the project actually being done, what the work was done, taking photos.
But what's the year thing? What
Yeah.
if they're done in-
That's,
What if they're done in 3 months? It's a facade
Mhm.
improvement. That's, my other question is, when we did this range 10,000 up to 10,000, did we look into the historical data from this year and last year to see what's the average cost for facade improvements? To come up with a number that is actually, logical?
Mhm.
I don't know what it is. You have the data. You have how many facade improvements projects that we came across. What was the total for these facade improvements on average?
The idea was to kind of mirror it to the standard word for activating of the buildings. But since these have already been businesses that have already been established for a few years, they're kind of already up and running. So this would be more tailored towards fixing an awning or painting signage, really just rejuvenating the building a little bit. The standard is where really when it comes into the heavy duty of the improvements that need to be done.
So
yeah,
if a
this
new
would also
building,
include like if they want to do a mural on their side of their facade.
so if a new business is gonna open and rehabilitate a building,
It would be
Yeah.
standard.
that will be part of the standard?
Yes.
They're not gonna be part
Correct.
of
So this is strictly for anybody that's been established for 2 years or more that wants to come in and just maybe fix up their facade, add a mural, like Corey said, signage.
What we've heard from local businesses is not a complaint, just a wish that, right now our big is only activating vacancies. And so we've heard from quite a few business owners in the past few years saying that, they come and say, well, they don't qualify because,
They're not
our,
expanding or they're not,
yeah, they don't fit the current requirements for big, which is activate vacancies. So we're doing this also as a pilot to see if that's, taking big to the other districts too. Is this, something that would be similar? So we feel like this is more of a beautification. We just didn't want to say beautification.
I mean, 10,000 sounds like it's good. It's a good amount of money, right? Whatever. But then you're asking for a licensed contractor. That by itself is going to jump on the cost for these kind of projects, right? So when we do these things, we need to think, okay, are we gonna be actually impactful, or are we just creating something that is gonna sit on the shelf, nobody will apply for it because it's gonna be too costly to do it, to start with, right? Because of our second requirement here, which is licensed contractors, right? Non-licensed contractor will look into coming to do an awning in downtown versus, building a apartment North Brownsville, because there is more money there. You know what I'm saying? So we're creating restriction, we're creating constraints in these programs. So
I understand
need-
that, so I think for
I don't have
us
the
is,
solution right now, but I'm just, these are things I would reserve to adapt before we really thoroughly think about it and see, okay, what would be the fine line here, right?
for us, the reason we suggested this was the transparency and the image of past applicants is the past applicants have been also the contractor. And so we've had people, public, questioning, are they falsifying documents? So we're trying to be more of a transparent of, they're not having ownership of being the contractor, of doing the labor.
But if they are doing the labor to fix the awnings and the covers and the facade of our storefronts, I don't see what's the problem with that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pay somebody anyway to do it. So if they are able to do
I
it.
think it goes back to that we check to see they did the work. Did they really put the awning up?
Yeah.
But you gotta get rid of that 1 year I don't know what that means, self-certification, because that implies that we're not gonna go look. We're
Yeah.
not gonna go verify.
So,
Also, I just wonder if it's necessary to do 2 on-site check-ins in a year for a $1,000 project. So let's say that $1,000 project was a mural, as you mentioned, murals. Well, the mural's probably not gonna go anywhere. If you inspect it one time, you've assured that the money's been spent. But also, is a licensed contractor going to oversee the work of a muralist? I think we might be roping ourselves in a little bit more than we need to in the interest of avoiding finger pointing, but we might also make this so difficult for people to comply with it, they'll say, it's just not worth it. And I also worry about staff capacity, because I think checking in twice a year for a $1,000 investment is just over the top.
Well, the check-in would be more of kind of like from a how can we help you standpoint as well. So it would kind of be like how I do the rent visits every quarter. It's, hey, how's the business going? Where can we assist you? Are you having any difficulty with traffic? Do you need help with marketing? What can we do on our part to help, push the business a little forward? Yeah. So which was actually, got to give credit to Nelson. We did that this last. Yeah.
I do think that the last point here is not really for this particular program. Now, look, for the rehabilitation and the big and extensive, you need a licensed plumber, you need a licensed electrician to do the work, no question here. But this is, you trying to enable,
I see what you're
users
saying,
or
yes.
customers who weren't able to apply for the bigger grants because of the capacity
Yeah.
that they, and now you're creating this that is gonna make it much more difficult and much more expensive to do it. So, and what we, I understand your point, but you're doing, we're not hiding away from this. We're trying to help,
Yes.
customers who otherwise are not gonna be able to do this. So.
Okay, anything else? Is that it?
Is that
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yeah, it's just. So we remove the licensed contractor for the new portion. And
Well,
restructure the scoring for quality of life.
Okay, so we need a motion.
I'll move with adapting the new guidelines with recommendations presented during the meeting.
I second that.
Thank you, Sergio.
All in favor, I'm sorry. That was- All in favor.
We're waiting for that, what's next?
Powerful speech.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Are we done?
No, we got one, wait,
Okay,
no,
I gotta
no.
go, so.
You got it? Oh, you have.
Nathan, I need you to come to the front, please.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Why?
Sounded so
We
serious.
do have item 16. We have a few announcements.
Yes, that's.
What happened?
Not yet.
Left.
This one is for you all, board. Starting September 1st, there is a new House bill that requires that meeting agendas be posted at least 3 business days prior to a meeting, replacing the 72-hour posting requirement, which means now that if a meeting is scheduled for Monday, the agenda must now be posted by the previous Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting to implement that next month, which I really require or would like for you all to mark down your attendance whenever we do submit the, or send you all the meeting invite via onboard, so that way we can confirm your attendance for that meeting. Now that we do have to have it a week earlier, then I will request the agenda items from the team the week prior. So I guess my ask here is just that whenever you all see the meeting on onboard, make sure you select attending, non-attending, or remote. Thank you. We do have 2 more announcements. So Nathan?
Okay. So I'm gonna take this over. Nathan, get in the front. Okay. So it's my privilege to say a few words of recognition of one of our outstanding team members. We're here to celebrate Nathan's recent named as North America's top 50 economic developers of 2025 by Consulting Connect. I think it's really important that Nathan was recognized because he played a pivotal role in when we launched eBridge Center. And he's been, he took BCIC from always just focusing on quality of life to implementing these new programs for entrepreneurs and how to activate eBridge Center. And that's how he was, acknowledged and, with this recognition was what he has shown into our community for the growth and, broadening our mission as BCIC. So Nathan will be recognized in Florida in November.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be there. I'll have a newborn, but thank you. Thank you.
But it's quite a privilege to have Nathan, as part of our team, and for what he's done for BCIC and what he's done for eBridge and the entrepreneurs. So thank you, Nathan, on behalf of us and the board.
Appreciate it.
Speech.
And then last is Eric will be attending class 11 for the RGV partnership, which is the partnerships leadership course. So it's a 9-month, and he'll go through different aspects throughout the 4 counties, learning about different leadership stuff, what different things, health and education and economic development. And Nellie will be attending Leadership Brownsville. So. And as of today, I'm officially as a chamber
Board member.
Board member.
Alrighty, team.
That's it.
I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
We will send reminders for ribbon cuttings in September for BHA and Camp Rio. We'll be sending reminders. Who second? Murad first? Sergio. Okay. Thank you all for a. Y'all, thank you for the participation for today. That was very helpful.
Thank you.
And looking at it differently.